What's up guys, Zach from Good Time Gaming coming at you with another build video. This one is a build that focuses on using trip mines and C4, finding the technician tree, as well as taking jack of all trades to allow us to bring medkits. We'll also be using shotguns as our main weapon. So no more hesitation, let's get into it. Our C4 skills are contained within the breacher tree here, and I've taken only the skills that have anything to do with mines. So I took hardware expert to get the very first rank up in there, and then took combat engineering, more firepower, and then fire trap. So combat engineering gives you bigger radius and damage on your mines. More firepower gives you more mines. Pretty nicely named skill there. And then fire trap makes it so that whenever your mines explode, they spread fire. So it'll be for a total of 20 seconds if you ace it, which is pretty nice. Now also in technician, we're going to take jack of all trades. So to do that, we need to take first rank of third law, eco sentry, and then ace jack of all trades. Now what this does is it allows us to take 2 consumable items. So you can take 2 ammo bags normally, and you can take a doctor bag. Or in our case, we could take the 14 trip mines and we could take something else as a secondary deployable. The reason I do this is because one of the problems I have whenever I'm using technician with C4 is that the mines can go very, very quickly. I mean, even with having shape charges and trip mines as 2 separate entities now, which is a great touch, don't get me wrong, they just seem like they go very quickly, especially on heists where you're not really doing a whole lot of movement. The one thing I noticed from playing this build is that heists where you have to move around more or you're not really stationary in one place for very long, you tend to have more mine situations like that, right? Because if you're moving, like in say Hoxton Breakout, you're going down the street, there's not really a whole lot of opportunities to leave mines, tactically deploy them, and then hold down positions with them. Because people are kind of coming from all different directions, you're moving, it just doesn't work. On maps like say Rats, for example, where you're stationary, you're in one spot, everything you're doing is contained in this one little area, the mines can go through very, very quickly if you're deploying them. You put one down, it gets tripped, 20 seconds later it's dissipated, it's over, it's gone. So that's kind of a bad thing there, is that they go really quickly, which is why I started looking for something else that I could bring instead of just the trip mines. I was trying to do some math and trying to do some skill weighing, like see if it's worth it, see if it's not worth it, trying to find something that I felt would add something to the build, add something to the team, and not compromise the integrity of the build as a whole. And what I found with that, and what I ended up deciding on, was first aid kits with Inspire. So moving over into Mastermind here, we take the first rank of combat medic to open up the second rank here. We'll go up into quick fix, we will ace uppers. Now you notice we still need 4 more points. I have infamy. If you don't have infamy, you're gonna need more points than this, but with infamy Mastermind, this is all I need here. And then we go ahead and ace Inspire. So what we now have, in addition to C4 mines and the shape charges, is we now have 7 first aid kits we can bring with us, which is really, really nice, okay? Additionally, we also have Inspire. Not a lot of people are bringing Inspire these days because it's been nerfed, but since we're going this far into Mastermind to get first aid kits, we're trying to look for something else we can bring to the team, I feel like it's worth it in this situation. It's also worth mentioning, guys, that over in Technician, Jack of all trades, the first rank of that, makes that you deploy and interact with all deployables 50% faster. That includes trip mines and first aid kits, so you will deploy those things really fucking fast by having that. So it does have a secondary benefit, which is nice. Alright, we are now over here in Enforcer. You can kind of see what we've taken here. I have opted to use shotguns with this build. You can use any other weapon you want to. It doesn't really matter what you use. There's a reason why I like the shotguns, and I'll go ahead and explain that right now. It's because of the HE rounds. Sometimes your best bet is to just throw down a trip mine and then detonate it yourself manually by shooting at it. Oftentimes though, if you put down a trip mine and there's a dead body on the ground, or if you have an inaccurate weapon, it may not be easy to land that shot. With HE rounds, you can throw down the trip mine, shoot it with an HE round, boom, it's already going, it's exploded, it's doing its fiery thing. So that's why I like to have the HE rounds, kind of like a little backup. Also in Enforcer, you can see that we have opted to go with heavy armor. I've tried several different types of armor with this. I tried a dodge version of this, I tried a anarchist version using the lightweight ballistic vest. I just tended to like this version. I felt like it worked well with what I was trying to achieve with this. So this is what I've kind of done with the armor here. Resilience, Bullseye, Shock and Awe, and then Iron Man Ace. Over in Ghost, Duck and Cover and Parkour to give us more movement speed and stamina regen. And I had an extra point, so I threw it right here into Second Wind. And then that is it for our skills, guys. That is all of it right there. Alright, so I've been using the Predator 12 gauge shotgun. This is not the best shotgun in the game. It's not like an amazing shotgun by any means. If I was looking for something different, I was tired of using the same shit over and over, so I decided, I'll use this, and I had fun with it. If you're using shotguns, use whatever you want to. It doesn't matter. They're all pretty close in terms of stats. Stakeout is one of my favorites, obviously. You guys know that. The Breaker 12 gauge, probably my favorite shotgun right now altogether. You use whatever you want to, guys. If you don't have DLC, then use whatever you got. It doesn't matter that much. For my secondary, I've been using the Street Sweeper shotgun with HE rounds. This is a nice counter. If you're using shotgun primary, you need something on your secondary that you can kill dozers with, because shotguns and dozers do not mix well. So this gives me that utility I need. Lets me detonate trip mines if I need to. Lets me take out shields, take out dozers' armor, stun them so I can blow them with my shotgun. I highly recommend HE rounds on your secondary if you're going to use a shotgun primary. If you're not going to use that and you want to say do assault rifles, then bring whatever you want to. HE rounds are still useful, but bring whatever you want to if you're not going to use shotgun. But this build, the way I've laid it out, I'm using shotguns. Buckshot primary, HE round secondary. I've also looked to use armor with this build. I find that it's pretty nice with this, having the extra armor recovery rate. It works well. Given that I'm bringing first aid kits, I didn't really feel it was necessary to bring something that gave me health regen, especially since I already have really high armor anyways. And so far from what I've been playing, I haven't really needed the health regen at all. The first aid kits have been just plenty. It's been sufficient for me. But if you don't want to use armor, you could always go with muscle, disturbing the peace whenever you shoot people, kill people, enemies might cower. That can be helpful. Having the health regen, the extra health anyways, is also, beneficial. You could do Infiltrator to have a little bit less damage, so 32% less damage from enemies. Punching somebody in the face, you get 20% of your health back. That's also an option. You could do Sociopath, shoot somebody, you get armor back. What's not to like about that? Again, you have Showdown here, so if you kill somebody at medium range, then they might go into fear. You could do Gambler if you wanted to. I mean, probably not the best one, but it's an option. You could do Biker. It doesn't really matter. That's what I really want to say about this, is that once again, as far as your perk deck goes, it doesn't matter. Use whatever you have or whatever you're comfortable with. But I'm using armor, and I like that one quite a bit. If I wasn't using armor, I would probably go with a Biker, or maybe even Sociopath, just for the reliability and for the health and armor regen associated with each of those. Alright, so I'm going to head in game and show you guys a little bit more footage. You can see here I'm ready for explosions. I have put on my nice little helmet here. It has a nice little visor that keeps my eyes safe. Safety is very important, especially whenever you're playing with explosives. So don't get your eyes blown out. Don't get your legs blown off. Don't be like Carol, guys. If you were in grade school during the 90s and 2000s, you might know who Carol was. She lost her eyesight because she didn't use safety goggles. Safety first, ladies and gentlemen. Always. One of the best uses for trip mines is to lock down spawn points or areas that enemies are going to frequent, or small corridors that they have to get through to get to you or to reach an objective. In this case, there are some issues with the Z axis in Payday 2, as you can see here. So this is on the bank heist, and I have put down trip mines here, as you can see, near this rear spawn point. And enemy is literally dead before you hit the ground. I think there's like an old saying or like an old quote or something like that, we were dead before we hit the water, or something like that. It's very true here. They're dead before they even hit the ground or get over the top of the building. Now, obviously, it takes me some time away from the team to come back here and lock this down, but really this is more of a way to demonstrate how, I guess, one, some things in this game are completely broken, and two, how you can really lock down spawn points if you know how to just position the fire just right to where enemies are just going to keep on getting roasted over and over and over. And positioning really is key with trip mines, especially with the fire. Alright guys, so we're now in the safe house. I'm going to show you guys something real quick here. I was talking a little bit about positioning on trip mines. If you saw my overhaul video for the Payday 2 skills with the Technician tree, I kind of demonstrated this there. But I'm going to go ahead and demo it here as well since it's very relevant. Alright, so I'm going to throw down a trip mine right here. It's a nice open area, okay? Put that down right here. So trip mine's there. It's now armed and ready. There's a secondary option here with the sensor mode. By doing this, it'll mark special enemies for me. So if a special enemy passes through this, then they'll automatically get marked by it. Also, in stealth, you can stick these to walls and use them to mark guards. It's kind of overpowered, and I feel like it kind of takes you out of the game a little bit because you have to make sure you put these things up, and it's just an extra little hassle. Some people swear by them as a stealth mechanic. I don't like it. I think it just makes the game even stupider and easier, but it is an option out there if you guys want to. But we don't really care about that right now. What we care about is explosives. So it's on sensor mode, it's ready to explode. I'm going to go ahead and hit it with an HE round, bow it up. Alright, so you guys see how big that saturation is. It kind of like looks like a star almost. You have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points basically, and then you have one in the middle. So it's pretty big fire radius here. Alright, so that is now gone. So now what happens if we stick it to a wall? Now obviously you might be thinking, well, walls are definitely the best place. Can you stick to the wall, enemy passes through it, boom, you know, easy. Well, let's see what happens here. Alright. As you guys can see, we only have 3 of our points available. 1 here, 1 there, and 1 back there. So the rest of it has basically been eaten up. This is why you really do not want to put them on walls. You want to put them in the middle of areas, or you want to put them kind of in the open where you know you can kind of get a good saturation, a good lockdown effect with the fire. Because you're losing half of your explosion if you put it up against the wall like this. See, 1, 2, 3 right there. Versus whenever I was putting it right here in the middle, I was getting all 6 points of the fire. Stick it right here just to kind of demonstrate this point. Alright, so that one's on the wall there. We have one little spot there. Put it a little bit lower to the ground. About yay tall. Blow it up. That one got a little bit better. 1 point there, 1 point there, 1 point there. Alright, the flame's now dissipated. What I'm going to do now is drop one right in the frame of the door here. Like so. Blow that one up. And you guys can see a much better saturation. We still lost a couple of points there, but it's a much better range here. So if I'm on this side trying to keep enemies out, they have to pass through this fire, this fire, this fire right here. So 3 layers of fire just to get to me. And more than likely, cops are stupid. They'll probably sidestep or try and roll or something like that and get caught in more fire. So much better saturation than whenever I tried to stick it on the wall, and it just went nowhere. If I put it a little bit away out of the frame, so not quite in the frame, just a little bit to the side, and blow it. See, a little bit better there. The fire explodes out from the center of the mine. So be kind of aware of that. You slow this down a little bit so you guys can kind of see the way that the fire explodes and spreads out. Think of it like that, guys. You need to put the trip mine in a position to where it can expand all around. You can get all that fire out there. If you stick it in a corner, you stick it in some really obscure little wall, you're going to lose a lot of your fire, guys. Don't do that. Don't lose your fire. C4 is extremely powerful. A direct hit to a dozer with it will kill it instantly. The radius is really big on it. It's a lot bigger than what you'd think. Basically the size of the fire, so that's about the radius of it if you detonate it. Besides being great offensively, the C4 trip mine combo can also be used defensively as well as for objectives. You can see here on Firestarter I'm able to use the shape charges to blast open the trucks, which pretty much saves us needing to have a saw, and also allows me to still have offensive capability with my deployable. Based on my positioning for the trip mines, you can see how I'm able to lock down the fence, killing enemies that try and get through it as well as jump over it. You can see here on Hoxton Breakout I use my shape charges to destroy the skywalk here on both sides. This limits the number of ways the enemy can come at us, which definitely saves key cards as well as making it a little bit easier for us. And of course it's always nice to be able to fall back on a medkit if I need one really badly. So with that, guys, that'll about cover it for this build as well as for C4 shape charges in general. If you guys have any questions about it, then leave a comment, ask me, let me know about it. So just to kind of recap everything real quick, trip mines are really best used whenever you can get a full explosive radius on your trip mines. So if you're putting them against the wall, putting them in a corner, putting them in some little area where they're not going to really be able to get that full 6-point spread, then you're losing part of the efficiency of your trip mines. Use them to lock down spawn points, use them to lock down corridors, use them to buy yourself some time if your team needs to, retreat, or if somebody's down, or if you need to kind of lock off an area to where people can't get you from there, cops can't get to you. Use it in those kind of situations. Be smart about it. It takes a little bit of practice, a little bit of knowledge to know how to use them and where to put them, and where's kind of the best spot. One of the big drawbacks with them is that even though sometimes you might be really smart about it, you may actually put them down and only one cop will detonate it, which is again a big problem because if you're using a trip mine and you only kill one stupid cop with it, that is such a waste. It's also one of the reasons why I feel like there needs to be some way to regenerate your trip mines. I'm not really sure what the answer would be on that. I don't know if it'd be maybe like based on ammo pickups, or maybe if you use an ammo bag you get it, or I don't know. It's just maybe some way to get them back. It's just a problem, and it's something that I think needs to be kind of looked at. Because they're really good, but guys, you can go through these things so fast, and then that leaves you with basically nothing to help the team with. Which is again why we go with the Medkit secondary. So let me know what you guys think of this build and of C4 and trip mines now that they've been kind of buffed and changed. But I will see you guys in the next build video. This is actually a good time gaming. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share if you like anything you saw today. Remember to always have a good time gaming.